Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM. And if you're enjoying what you're seeing on the channel at the moment, how about giving this video a like, maybe subscribing to the channel to help us grow, and perhaps even check out our Patreon. Today, me and my friend James here are in Poland to see the last working steam service in Europe, or regular steam service in Europe. And the gods have been kind to us. There is snow, the sun is peeking its head up, and it is going to be the most amazing morning to go chasing ever.
We have been so lucky with the weather, the conditions, everything's got to sort of coming together for us.
It's going to be perfect. So we're here, we know it's off Leszno soon, so setting up the cameras and waiting. Okay, so the observant amongst you will have noticed that this is indeed not a steam locomotive. This is in fact an SM42, one of the more common small diesel locomotives in use in Poland. And no, we hadn't seen the wrong train. This was timetabled to be a steam-hauled service, and the only reason that a diesel would haul this would be if the steam engine had failed. And unfortunately for us, the day before we arrived in Poland to chase, the sole working standard gauge steam engine in Poland, PT4765, had failed with broken piston rings, and by the time we got to the depot, it had been locked away in the shed in disgrace, with absolutely no chance of any repairs being completed during our stay. However, as disappointing as it was not to have steam, this is some of the last footage of Loco hauled trains on the Wolsztyn to Leszno section. This was once a common sight of a small diesel and two coaches, soon to be gone forever and replaced by rail cars. So this really is a last chance to see. So enjoy. The SM42 was developed between 1958 and 1962 by the Construction Bureau of Railway Stock Industry in Poznan as the Type 6D. Production was given over to the Fablock Locomotive Factory, where it was designated as the LS800E, meaning it's an 800 horsepower diesel locomotive with electric transmission, with the prototype being ready in 1963. SM42s were built all the way up to 1992, with a grand total of 1,822 of the locomotives being built. of which 1,157 were used by PKP. In the 2000s, a number of these locomotives, including this one, owned by PKP Cargo, had modernisation, including the replacement of the engine, the generator, air compressors, and upgraded driver's cab and bodywork. And my favourite thing about this class was their nicknames, known as Zebra or Stonker in its original livery, or the Vibrator, from the way that the cab shook from the vibrations of the engine. And with the train past, it was time to hop back into the hire car and try and chase it.
The gods have laughed at us. The perfect conditions for steam. This beautiful weather. Oh look, it's still there. We caught up with it. And there's lots of people heating their homes with coal fire. So you get the smell of smoke of coal and you're like, steam! But it's not. We are devastated, I think is the simple term. Absolutely, completely devastated. So we want to actually go here across the level crossing, but we can't because the barriers are down. So I've sent James off to go get a shot, and then hopefully he'll have finished the shot and be able to jump back in the car before we leave. Maybe.
With James safely back in the car, we made chase again with the aim of overtaking.
So chasing has been pretty slow. We're once again stopped at a level crossing on the wrong side of it, so I've dispatched James once again to go and see if he can get a shot at the level crossing, and hopefully, oh, there it goes. So he'll come running back any second and we'll try and get ahead of it again for me to get a shot. Good work, because that was an atrocious shot. Oh, well, the gates are open.
Once again, we zoomed off, determined that this time we would be ahead of the train so I could get a shot as well.
It turns out that chasing on the Leszno line is very challenging because it's a very densely packed area, so there's lots of little towns, of which the railway goes to all of them, which normally is a really good option for you to overtake. But because it's full of traffic and vehicles, that it actually means that there's not much opportunity to overtake. And this is where we were heading to. This is where the train starts. This is Wolsztyn. And, well, there's no snow here, and most importantly, there is no steam. Wolsztyn is well known as a world famous depot, operating the last regular steam service in the whole of Europe. But not today. In fact, up at the depot, there is no locomotive outside. There is a tender outside. This station used to be a massive hub. There are 5 different lines that come off from here. You can go to Leszno, to Poznan, or to Konotów, or to Zabrzeżin and Zabrzeżnik on the Berlin main line, or to Powodowo. This place used to be massive, and of course, back in the day, there were services leaving every day from Wolsztyn being hauled by steam. Just not today. So I guess we'll head back out and go back that way and watch the diesel as it leaves, because I'm in Poland with nothing else to do. We're at, where are we?
Wroniawy. Wroniawy?
Wroni Abbey. There. Wroni Abbey.
Yeah. W-O-R-I-N.
Wroni's Abbey.
I-A.
There's an abbey here that Wroni owns. And we're actually ridiculously early. So the first thing is going to be the rail car. And these things, I think we saw it on the way down. I think it's one of the 4-wheel ones. There's 2 kinds of rail cars that's in use here. They have kind of bogie, modern-y things that look totally out of place here, or the modified pacer-ish thing. So I think it's one of those. So better set up a camera, because any moment now,
it's coming.
These Poznan-made SA-108s represent the future of this route. And by the time you watch this video, the locomotive hauled services will be no more, and will have moved onto the Wolsztyn to Zbrojnik service, meaning that today these are the only traction that you're likely to see on this line.
Those pit rail buses are brand new and they're basically pacers.
They are basically papers, four-wheel, very bouncy.
Right. I suppose that was even less exciting than the diesel.
Yes, very much less exciting.
As soon as the railcar had arrived in Wolsztyn, the SM42 was clear to leave, and so it wasn't long before it lumbered back into sight. And here we can see one of the many ungated crossings that are still all over Poland's network.
Oh, I mean, it's a diesel, but that was pretty stunning.
Yeah, I mean, the weather does, like, if it was bad weather in a diesel, nah.
On the other hand, that was a semi-regular site, wasn't it? They diesels used to do the service.
Yeah, I think there might be about 3 lines in Poland that still have diesel hauled passenger. So
Everything else is now those DMUs.
yeah,
So, although it's not what we wanted to see, to come and document something and get footage of something that is dying out and changing, this is still an oddity of a changing landscape, of a changing country, of a modernising country. That's still a very unusual thing to see out here running. So it's not what we wanted to see, but it's still... If it was just a rail car, this would be awful.
yes. But at least it's a diesel.
It's something... In 5 years' time, that'll be a distant memory. That won't happen again,
You think?
I'm sure. Right.
Now, to the next adventure?
Well, I would say let's go and shoot another shot, but it's now got so far ahead of us that we haven't got a chance of catching it. So that'll probably do for today.
It is day 2 here in Poland, and my days the weather has changed. It is cold. Well, it was cold yesterday, but it's a different kind of cold.
It is bleak. Like the wind's blowing through, and you sort of Wielkopolska. It can be extremely flat. So
There's nothing here.
It's just bare trees.
Yeah, it's a bleak, featureless landscape in the nicest possible way, because I really like Poland, but that's what it is. So we've come. Where are we?
Novi Solek.
Oh, Novi Solek. Cool. We've come here to this abandoned-looking station. We're going to try one shot today because we've realised that chasing around here just, without being an utter tool and speeding everywhere, I don't think you can chase. Like, we can maybe get 1 or 2 shots. So the weather is grim, so we're probably just going to try and get a couple of shots here, and that will probably do us unless the weather improves, because it doesn't actually look like it's very nice to be out in this. When's it due?
Pretty soon. I think we should probably go.
Oh, okay. Right, it's so windy out there that I can't actually film anything without it just destroying the sound. So that's great. It's cold. It's so windy that the drone was like, no. And did you get anything?
I did. I mean, I made the slight mistake of the diesel stopped after the shot.
Oh, nice.
But I got a nice one of like people interest getting on and off the train. And hopefully the train sheltered me from the wind for a minute.
Oh, that's useful.
So hopefully the audio on that shot will be okay. If not, very, very sorry.
Jestem głodny.
Ah.
I am hungry. Let's
Ale nie ma problem.
It's your problem.
Mam jedzenie na auto. Jest chleb I ser.
Auto.
Town.
Do we go to the town? We go to
I have food in the boot.
Oh, you have food in the boot? Oh, let's do that then. Honestly, I think we're going to go back and warm up and see if we can be bothered to come. The next train's in about 2 hours. And honestly, I don't know if we can be bothered today because it is cold as. But there is food in the boot. Well, welcome to day 3. And it is a gloriously sunny morning. It's absolutely wonderful. We've got up in good time despite forgetting to turn the alarm on, and we suspect that the cloud that you can see there is going to come and cover up the sun long before the train comes. How long do we have for the train?
20 something minutes ish.
That's not 20 minutes of light.
No, it is the eternal curse of chasers that you're in the spot, beautiful light. In fact, I can see the light going right now.
Yep.
And then the sun goes as the train comes, and as soon as it's gone, sun will come back out again.
Oh, for sure.
And of course, as predicted, by the time the SM42 trundled into view, the sun had been obscured by the clouds.
So, following a rather disappointing shoot, of which the drone almost got lost, the camera fell over, and the light completely disappeared, and the wind was about gale force 15, we decided to come get some breakfast. And now, at this point, the sun's come back out, it's lovely, so we're debating where to go next, because we're going to try again. Aren't we?
Yeah.
Cool.
Always try again.
Good. Do you know where we're going?
I have some ideas.
James suggested a new location, which we hoped would be out of the cloud and in the sun. And as we pulled up, we're in time to see a pair of SA-132s working the service from Poznan.
So that big cloud that we saw earlier wasn't rain. Snow.
Oh.
Oh.
Indeed, it was. Having not launched the drone, and with the roads looking clear, we were optimistic that we could get ahead of the SM-42 and get some more shots. We dived in the car, determined for another shot.
This is the terminus of our journey. This is the town of Leszno, and some of you might recognise it from my video I did looking at some of the abandoned engines which are just up there at the roundhouse. The service comes here, runs round and leaves a short 15 minutes after arrival back the way it came. But what's most upsetting about all of this is this was our last chance to see it. Come the December following this trip, the timetable changes and the steam will no longer come to Leszno. So this is a real heartbreaking thing for us to come out for this last trip to see the steam working, and we didn't even get to see the steam. So hopefully we'll come back and see steam working, but it will be going to Zabroznik rather than here to Leszno. And that's a real shame. But this is a last chance to see proper Loco hauled trains running this section between Wolsztyn and Leszno. Because after this, after December, it just becomes the modern rail cars, and there won't be anything really interesting for us heritage enthusiasts to see. And with that, well, the light's quite nice, so I'm going to hop in the car and see if I can get something for the way back.
As we arrived at our next location, we are in time to see one of the SA-108s clearing the line ahead.
So this is the afternoon run. The sun is already on its way down, and we are outside Leszno to get a shot. Today we've had wind, rain, snow, sun, and then the sun has gone every time before we've actually gone for a photo, well, gone for a video. So we're hoping this time we'll get the video. So I've got about 6 minutes now to get the drone up in the air.
Feeling overly pleased to have got some sun, we thought that maybe if the traffic was kind to us, we could get one last shot. And with that brings us to the end of this video, looking at some of the last Loco work trains between Leszno and Wolsztyn. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little look at some of the other railways continentally. If you have enjoyed this one, how about clicking on the screen now for one of the videos we've done over in Poland, looking at abandoned engines, or one of our other chasing giants. Thanks for watching, guys, and let us know in the comments below if you've enjoyed this one. Ta-ra.